Well, everybody, guess what? StreamYard changed something so you guys do not get intro.
What?
Yes. Hold on,
Wow.
and you lost me. Hold on, you guys. No such thing as a perfect video. Sorry, you guys. All right, now that I'm done goofing off. Okay. Sorry, you guys who like my intro music. Like I said, StreamYard changed something so it's not popping up. So you guys just get me and my guest today. Welcome to Jennifer's Open Book, where we don't believe in filters. And that is probably why that is my tagline because, we never know how these things are going to go. No filters. Shout out to Boulevard Bird. Um, so you guys, if you have not already subscribed to this channel, make sure that you hit your subscribe button, like this video, share this video, and leave comments. Let us know what you think of this video. Speak to our guests, just say hello. Go check out some of my other videos and let me know what you think. Your support is greatly appreciated. I thank you guys for hanging with me all this time. So, our very special guest for today is Miss Honeydee. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And how are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. I am fantastic. Believe it or not, you are going to be my last interview for a while. Yes, you guys heard it. I am not doing any more interviews probably until October. Um, I am in school right now and I have to concentrate on that pretty tough. Um, so this is going to be an awesome interview. We are going to talk to Miss Honeydee. She is a new author, but first we're going to get to know you. So, Miss Honeydee is part of my visually impaired posse, my VIP. So, you guys know how we always do. First, I want to ask you about your visual impairment. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, I am totally blind. I lost my left eye around the age of 16. I woke up one morning, could not see out of it. It was due to retina detachment. I lost my right eye 1996, the first part of 96, somewhere in September, October. I was in my first year of college in English class. Um, the teacher said turn to page 21, and I turned to that page, looked down at the book, looked back up, and everything went completely white. Um, and that was due to glaucoma. Um,
Now, the retina detachment, they couldn't do anything about the retina detachment.
they did. They did what they call a scleral buckle, which is an oil bubble behind the eye to hold the retina in place. Um, in the middle of the healing process, my cousin put her baby on the bed and he kicked me in that eye.
Oh,
Um, and they wanted to do another procedure where I would have to come back every 6 months to have the oil bubble changed. And I said no. I did not want to spend the rest of my life going back and forth through those surgeries. Uh, those surgeries are painful. They take a lot out of me, and I just said I don't want to do it anymore. Um,
it's understandable.
so that of course, they gave me a prosthesis. At that time, the prosthesis was thick, and they did not move. And I would try to wear it, but my left eye will water a lot from the prosthetic piece. So I just
Hmm.
took it out and said, no, either people are going to have to deal with me the way I am or don't deal with me, if that makes sense.
That makes all the sense in the world. And I absolutely love that attitude. And you know what? That is an attitude that me and a lot of people have had to take on dealing with blindness or just being us, period. And I think that's a phenomenal way of feeling. I'm so serious. It took, I talked about this before, and we're just talking, but I talked about how at one point in my life personally, I found myself getting pulled in so many different directions trying to please everybody. And I finally had to say, you have to deal with me as I am or not deal it with me at all. I use those words. So for you to say that, that was awesome. Yes. Yes,
Well,
I love
thank
that
you.
attitude.
Thank you so much. And
Take me as I am.
that's right. I want to share with you share with you a story. I actually was in a classroom and a teacher had a problem with that. She literally took me outside and gave me a pair of shades to put on.
Oh, no, she didn't.
And I said to her, as respectfully as I can, because I was like, how dare you, pretty much try to have me covered up because you're insecure with the way I pretty much look.
Mm-hmm.
So I explained to her, I said, look, I said, I'm not wearing these shades. I don't cover up for you or no one else. You either deal with it the way I am or don't deal with it, but I'm not wearing these shades. That's not who I am.
And that's good that you were mature enough to speak with her respectfully, for one thing. But that you were able to say, to stand up for yourself, because some people find themselves shying away from teachers because that's an authority. So they find themselves doing what that person wants them to do, and makes it lowers their self-esteem. It makes them feel bad about themselves. So again, I seriously applaud you for being able to do that, for being okay enough with yourself to tell people to take you as you are. That is awesome. Profound is what it is. It's wonderful. And that is something that is an attitude that people need to take on. I think that is awesome. You should talk to kids in high school, because high schoolers they go through so many changes, and they feel awkward, and they're not, a lot of times they're not okay with themselves, and it has nothing to do with outside parties. But then when those outside parties come in and make them feel worse, it's not helpful. And when I say you need to talk to high schoolers, I don't mean just blind and visually impaired high schoolers. I mean teenagers need to hear that story. They
Right.
need to feel okay about themselves
You're right.
and not allow anyone to make them feel bad, even the adults in their lives. I had that. I had people, adults. Why are you walking like that? Why are you looking like, listen, leave me alone. Worry about
Right.
you.
Look, you
As
do.
long as you're doing as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I feel like, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in class, what how you look should not be a distraction to somebody else. That has nothing to do with your grades. It has nothing to do with your education at all.
Right. Right. And you're right. Um, and that was, I know we're going to talk about it much later, but that was another reason why I wrote the book. Um, you know,
Well,
I,
you know what? We can go into your book right now. We can go into that book right now. So
no,
tell
I,
everybody. No, because that is one of my questions. When we get into this book, that is going to be one of my questions. So
mm,
we're going to go into it right now. So tell everyone the name of your book, and I want to know what the motivation behind this book was.
the name of the book is called Finding Our True Identity. And, I actually sat down at my computer 2015, around September or October 2015. And I wasn't sitting there to write this book. I was actually sitting there to pour out thoughts. And before I knew it, I had 6 chapters of the book. My motivation for writing the book, especially the first chapter that says, "Who am I?" It talks about all the things that shape our identity and how good or bad it can shape your identity. You know, there's things in TV shows or things that are being implemented in our everyday life that we have to be careful about what we let into our ear gates and what has visually impaired people into our ear gates has sighted folks ear gates and eye gates, um, because if you're a Christian, we already know certain things that are taking place is an abomination to God, and so some of these things are being slipped into kids' TV shows, um, slipped into our TV shows, our movies, um, and so that was the reason why I pretty much wrote the book. We need to find out who we are in Christ, um, and I feel like if everybody knew who they were in Christ, a lot of these things that I talk about in the first part of this book would not be happening.
Mm-hmm. What is one of your favorite chapters? One of your favorite chapters that you wrote, and why is that the one that spoke to you the most?
I don't really have a favorite chapter. I love every chapter in the book. That's the faith. I talk about having faith, and I talk about some of my testimonies on faith.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, I remember as a teenager, I went to the public pool and it started raining and thundered and lightning. I'm walking home in this, literally seeing the lightning streak across the sky as I'm walking down the road 12 blocks from my house, praying, Lord, please just get me home safe. Please don't let the lightning hit me. I'm soaking wet. And, so I knew for me that was one of my stories of faith. That I had to believe that God was not going to allow anything to happen to me while I'm walking home in this thunderstorm and this lightning going up under trees and everything. So I shared that testimony. Another chapter in the book is the confidence, having confidence in God, no matter what things look like. And one of the testimonies that I share in that chapter is 2016. We're going to take it back a little bit later part of 2015, October, November, December, I started experiencing symptoms of lightheadedness, dizziness, and things that I had no understanding. And every time I went to the doctor, they ran every test and couldn't find anything. And they kept sending me home, and I knew that something was not right. And I kept going back, and they kept doing all these tests and kept sending me home. Well, I even went to a GI doctor, and he was like, well, you have something stuck in your esophagus. So now I'm looking at him like he's crazy, because if there was something stuck in my esophagus, I wouldn't be able to swallow my food. So fast forward, they gave me some, what you call acid reflux medicine, and I was taking this stuff, and one morning, horrific pain ripped through my chest, and my husband said, we are going back to the hospital. So they took me back to the hospital. When the ambulance came, I was rolling all over the floor. When they got me to the hospital, they did an EKG and a heart ultrasound. That's when they found out that my heart was operating at 40%. I was having a massive heart attack. They told him, had he not gotten me back to the hospital when he did, I would have died that day. And so I had double bypass surgery. But I was excited because they finally figured out what was wrong.
What was wrong? Mm-hmm.
Right. And I was like a kid in the candy store. a kid in the candy store.
Right.
But, once they had found out the problem, but the whole time I just kept reciting God's scriptures and saying, Lord, you said you would never leave me nor forsake me. Um, and there was other things going on with that, like later in the midst of the heart attack, I found out that I had a procedure done in 2003 because my eye had exploded from glaucoma. The doctor had told the nurses not to clean the supplies. Um, and he didn't know they were the same ones that prayed with me before they wheeled me into the operating room. Uh, Later, only to discover 13 years later, when I went to Chapel Hill, that I was not supposed to be wearing a conformer, a plastic shield that was in my eye for 13 years. They were amazed at the fact I didn't have any infections. When they did the test, come to find out, the doctor lied on his report and said I had my sclera, my cornea, and my lens. And when Chapel Hill did the testing, I didn't have any of those parts. So it was like a
Oh,
back-to-back
wow.
traumatic. It was like a
And you made it through all of it, and that is a blessing.
right. Thank God. It
I
was a
shouldn't say as a blessing, as many blessings.
yeah. But it was a dramatic experience. So those different chapters on confidence and faith, and more so trusting God. That trust.
That's awesome. And at the end of this video, I'm going to have you give everyone the website and let everyone know where they can go and find your book. And we are going to post it in the comments. I think that this is a really inspirational thing. This is an inspirational book. And I think it's something that um, everyone needs to read. I'm going to go and pick it up. I've been picking up books back to back lately. You guys have been busy inspiring me. I want to write a book so bad, but you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to do like you did and not sit down at the computer with a, a mind to write the book, but just pour out thoughts really. Because when I go to write a book, I want it formatted perfectly and all that different kind of. I just need to write down.
Right. And
So you have inspired me.
well, please do write one. I encourage you to do so. I think people need to hear more of our live testimonies, and because I think people who are sighted are sometimes afraid on how to interact with us. I think they think we're so fragile. Um, but there was a lot of things in my life that I personally have been through, you know, that shaped and molded me. And I'm just like, you know, fear at one time had gripped my life. Not the fear of living, but the fear of having to prove to people who I am. And I realize now that I have a relationship with God, I don't have to do that. I don't have to seek
Hmm.
man's approval. I don't have to validate or have anyone validate me because God has already validated me. And that's the only approval that I need. Um, so,
Did
the,
you notice that when you stopped trying to prove yourself to people, how much easier living was?
yes, child, yes. And I wish I would have known sooner. I wish I would have did it sooner than later. But God knows the time, and He knows what's the right time. And I'm just glad that, whew, being free, spiritually free, not
Hmm.
being, um, not letting anyone or everybody tell me or trying to control my life. Because, look, let's just be realistically, and I'm not saying everybody, but some people, when they see blind folks, they think of Helen Keller. And Helen Keller was an awesome person because she was blind and deaf.
Yes, she
She
was.
she paved the way. Um, technology has came a long way for us, and I thank God for that. Um, you know, and it was very hard for me to be sighted one moment and be blind the next. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my mother worked 2 jobs, and I was still having to take care of my sisters, even in the midst of being blind. So I didn't really have that grieving period. I was in survival mode. Um,
Did you receive any training or anything?
oh, I did. I did go to Governor Moorhead Rehab Center, and I learned how to cook. I learned how to use my cane. They were trying to teach me Braille when I had sight, and I just couldn't pick it up at that time. But it's amazing what you pick up when you lose your sight. So I picked up the Braille within 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I learned how to navigate with the cane, of course. Um, Learn how bump dots and things and do help when certain things are labeled, and all these little talking gadgets. We got so many of them in our house. We got to name them.
So, I want to talk a little bit about you before we sign off. Just a little bit more about you. We heard some of your testimonies from your book, and I would strongly encourage everyone to go ahead and get this book. Like I said, it sounds very inspirational. But you are the wife. Wait, you are a family woman. So you are a wife, a mother, and a grandmother, and you are the wife of I want to call him a famous musician because
Girl,
he's been on
speak,
my channel twice.
speak it, please speak
I've
it.
seen him on social media and everything, and he's actually performed. He performed on my channel in July, I think that was. It was in July that I had him on. So how was all of that for you?
Oh, it's been a very interesting journey. With him, I have learned how to engineer his recording studio. So there's times when he'll have me come into the studio with him, and I will do the recording, um, which is interesting. Um, we have done, he's done nursing homes and things like that, and I go with him to support. And I truly enjoy being a wife of a musician. I truly enjoy watching the whole process of how music is created, laid out, put together, record into a.
Isn't it amazing just to listen to everything that they do to put it together? When we listen to our music, we hear the end results. We don't hear the work that goes
Right.
into
You
it.
don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that goes in
Yes.
putting it together, and it makes me appreciate what he does at a greater level. And he's doing this while being physically blind. And
Yeah, I was
so,
gonna say that was gonna be my other point. Both of you are blind. Both of you are visually impaired. So you guys are amazing to me. You
well,
guys are
thank
amazing, and you have uh, two children, and you said you have six grandbabies.
yes. Well, one baby's on the way. She'll be here in February. Our daughter is pregnant, and so yeah, we have a total of 4 boys and 1 girl right now.
Awesome. That is exciting. I love it. I love it. I love the family thing. I love it. So, before we go, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you? If you have social media, this is your opportunity to share your social media. If you and let everyone know where they can find your book.
Okay. So let's start with the social media first. Facebook, Honey D Writes. That's HoneyDeeWrites. Please go there and like my page. Also, I have an Instagram account at honey Honey_DEE Writes WRITES. And Now for the link for the book, you can find it on Amazon, iBooks, Kobo, and several other platforms. The link that Jennifer has posted is to the bookshop page through BookBaby. And there, if you use that link, you can go there and find all of the different places that it is posted, that the book is sold on. Um,
Is your book on Audible?
I'm working on that at the moment, but I
Okay.
do know that I have downloaded or brought the book from our books, and I use my voiceover to read it.
Okay. I know you can use voiceover to read. iBooks, definitely the books on Kindle. All I use is iBooks, Kindle, and Audible, you guys. So if you guys have any other platforms that you use your voiceover on, let me know so that I can start putting that out there for our visually impaired people and for those who just like to listen to their books.
And I think it reads. Let's see. When I went to the Amazon thing, it does do speech, so it might be accessible with JAWS. So I need to test that theory.
Okay. I do Kindle with usually with um I either have my phone read it or I use the Echo. I didn't want to say her name because she always
Oh
thinks I'm
yeah.
talking to her.
Okay.
But I use the Echo, and Echo reads it pretty good too. So I've never tried it on Jaws. Like you said, I'm going to test that theory and see if it works on Jaws as well. But again, give everybody the title of your book so they can know what they're looking for.
It's called Finding Our True Identity.
And it is by Honey D, Honeydee.
DEE.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, honey, for being here and talking to me. I enjoyed your company. I apologize, everybody, for all the fumbling at the beginning of the video. You guys know I can not get that straight most of the time. Sometimes it goes smoothly, though. But thank you again for hanging out with me, you guys. Thank you for all of your support. I will see everybody in October, most definitely, for Meet the Blind Month. Um,
And
we got
thank
a
you.
white cane walk going on. We're gonna probably have Miss Honey D back in October.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I truly have enjoyed this interview, and I'm encouraging you. Please write your book, please.
I'm gonna get on that probably after school. I wanted to have it done by the end of this year, but I did not know that school was gonna be like between school and being a parent is
I would
like
say
no
don't
time.
rush. It took me 6 years to write this book.
Awesome. Like I said, you have been really an inspiration to me, and I know you've been an inspiration to other people. You guys make sure that you share this video so she can be an inspiration to those that you know. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and leave comments. Until next time, you guys, look for sporadic posts from me, just here and there. But until next time, as usual, I love you guys. Bye.